I saw that.
Oh,
When
you
I
didn't
saw,
know that till then?
that was hilarious.
Okay, this is a crew of 4 here. We were the neighborhood
Okay.
kids, the neighborhood gang here.
Yeah.
Gary, my brother, over there. John here. Jimmy Orr here. And me. And we're just going to talk about the good old days.
Okay.
Well, I remember this was a wire fence.
Yeah,
This
so
was
I
a-
remember the wire fence, yeah.
And I went all the way to the back. This is all kind of new. Well, you're right, though. These are long yards, eh?
They are 200 feet, yeah.
200 feet.
Nowadays terms.
Oh, yeah, you'd never get something like that.
I don't know, it would cost the lot alone $1 million.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
So anyways, we were talking about kick the can. How many hours did we play that for?
Oh.
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
the
Well,
ten-
and we would get like 15 kids playing.
Oh, yeah.
At least
Some
10,
days.
10,
Yeah, some
15.
days.
Yeah.
We always had 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we, you say kick the can, and then everybody would show up, and off we'd go. Yeah. And we always had the maneuvers on Poor John here.
Yeah.
We'd have the rush the can.
Oh,
Where everybody would run. You'd say go, and then 10 people, and you go, there's Gary Darren, boom! You're still in, John.
1, 2, 3 on.
Still it. I was always it.
Or then we had the spy, where one guy would look around
Oh,
the corner and
Well,
then
there's a
signal.
tree there. There's an apple tree behind them. We used to look down.
Oh, the
And then
apple,
we'd
remember
wave
the
to the
apple
person
trees
at the
down
corner.
there?
Yeah, we'd tell the person to go. And so then Johnny was it even longer. And then,
Yeah.
do you remember when I used to hide up here in the bathroom?
I had no recollection.
We'd see you go that way, we signal, and the guys would rush over and boot the can. Poor Johnny, we picked on you, John. Sorry about that, buddy. I apologize now.
But I didn't know that till Dave wrote a book. And
Well,
how
nobody,
many years ago was that you wrote the book?
about 4 or 5
Yeah.
years ago.
And I'm reading this book, and he says about that, and I go, I started laughing my eyes at that. Oh man.
Oh, you got a good sense of humor
Yeah,
about it
yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
I remember calling John baby.
Oh, that I used to go mental over
I
that.
just seem to
We
remember.
were-
We did that
Now, Jim,
a couple
you, if I recall, you were the guy that was brutal.
I did it. I remember Dave being there
You
too.
were.
I remember the old mill, poor Johnny, the old mill.
Oh, yeah,
if,
yeah,
a guy,
yeah.
if a guy wanted to quit being it, they had to go through the old mill.
forgot about
But then the guys at the front would go to the back.
Back and keep on whacking them. Yeah.
You
Oh,
know
the
we
old
did
mill.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you weren't the only one that went
Oh,
through
no,
the old
no.
mill. There was lots of
Yeah.
people that went through the old mill. That
Yeah,
was
I just
hilarious.
remember that now, yeah.
It's
the
it's
old
just,
mill.
yeah. And the guy in the front would go to the back and he would keep going. But I also remember playing, what was that game that we used to play? Horse or something on the, where one guy would be on the telephone pole.
Red
upright,
Rover?
And then the other guys would
Red
hunch
Rover.
over and
What
you
was
try
that
to break
called?
their backs. What was that called?
Ah,
We called it something.
Oh
Was it
yeah,
Red
you used
Rover?
to run or
No, no.
something.
Red Rover's when you hold
yeah.
arm and they try to break
yeah,
through
no,
the
this
ice.
was
no.
different. I forgot.
Yeah,
know, I
yeah,
remember
we,
that.
we used to play it right over there. There used to be a
Yeah.
pole there.
Yeah.
The pole,
And there'd
yeah.
be like 15 guys, and the idea was
You had to jump on and break.
break it down.
Yeah.
So,
Holy
that's why
geez.
we all had back problems
Back
now.
problems.
Because
Oh.
there'd be like 5 guys high,
Yeah.
and these guys would be holding on to each other, stupid stuff. I mean, I don't even know the point of the game, but we just used to play it.
Who would have taught us that? I have no clue.
Well, I think it was your brother. Your brother and his friends played it or something,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then we
Rich would know, yeah.
would start. We were the younger guys. I remember it was the older guys, but they played all the time.
Do you remember much interaction with Bob Kelly? Did you ever have?
I had the only. I remember he was a nasty old piece of work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A
He
terror,
was.
from what
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, he was a terror, but I can remember being on his back porch, and he had a pellet gun, right? And he was showing me
Oh.
how to use his pellet gun. Well, it's funny, he owns a gun shop now, right?
Oh.
In Philadelphia. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
this
yeah.
is a precursor to him shooting up people.
Oh,
Typical American, now
Yeah,
he's got
yeah,
a gun
yeah.
shop.
A
He's
gun
got a gun
shop.
shop.
And there's
But-
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing
I
wrong
also
with that.
remember that he used to organize hockey, street hockey out here.
Bob Kelly.
Yeah, we were the Broad Street Bullies, right?
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah.
the Maple, and he knew, because there was an older group that played street hockey, and you had to be on the hockey team, and they actually had a schedule where they would go from street to street playing hockey,
I missed that.
and they'd have home games. They'd have home games out here where the Broad Street Bullies would be playing Maple
Whatever.
Leafs or whatever they were called. There was about 3 teams or 4 teams, and each street had its own
You know,
That's
like
home.
on Pine South or something like that.
Yeah, there was Pine South had one.
Yeah.
Or so they had. Yeah, there was a bunch of kids over there. I remember that because they were across the street. It was like, oh boy, they're way over there. But I remember Mary Lee saying, "Well, how does it like to grow up in a big city?" And I said, "Oh, you didn't know any better.
City.
It was your street was your these.
Yeah.
It was like these 8 houses up and down.
It
That
was
was
a
your
small
world.
town. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
was the
your
world. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as you knew, you never went anywhere. That
We
was
went on Pop Bottom. At least I used
oh,
to.
Pop
Along
Bottom
the
had it
field.
all the time.
Along Lakeshore.
Lakeshore, that's as far as.
And I remember your brother ripping us off too. Your brother.
Let's go collect
Yeah,
interest
let's go
from.
play.
Interest.
Why do you tell him that? He owes
50
me.
years interest.
You know, they used to have the knife shop or something up here, and he saw this knife. It was $2 and something, but it was a really cool knife, but it had a little knife inside the sheet. And he said, "Oh yeah, if you guys help me get that, I'll give you the knife, the little knife." So I think we collected bottles for like a month for him to get that stupid knife, and then he ripped us off. He didn't give us the knife. I'm thinking, what the hell?
Maybe he still has it.
Maybe he still has
You
the
might
knife.
still have it. Yeah.
Hopefully he does. No, don't you remember that? Well, I mean, and we always went from here up towards Lauren Park
Yeah,
Road.
I remember that.
Yeah, because that was
Or
all.
cut through the field.
The
Field
fields.
was there. We used to go Lauren Park Road to the field.
Yeah, but for Pop Bottom hunting?
Oh,
Yeah,
Pop
you
Bottom.
went
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you always
2
went.
cents a bottle.
Yeah, that was big money though.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't have any money.
I remember, I remember the comic books we used to watch, and in the back they had the $2 where you could buy a whole battlefield of these toys. And I remember being over at your place, Jim, and I found $5 in your garage.
Oh, geez.
That's a lot of money, right? And I'm thinking, $2.99 for them? I'm in. I could order them. And it turned out it was your dad's, and he took the money back.
Oh.
So how am I going to get that to $2.99 so I can order that?
Yeah.
Well, what was
The
the
hockey
cheapest?
cards for
And
a nickel.
nickel and the
5 cents,
most cheapest I can remember pop is 12
Bubble
cents.
gum.
I can remember 12 cents. The 2 of it was deposit, so it was 10 cents with a 2-cent deposit.
Okay, yeah.
And Norm
Norm,
up
yeah.
here, he had that pop machine that you would slide
Oh,
them
that was
along.
classic.
Yeah, you'd have to slide them out and then up and then pull them out. And that was
How
good.
old would we have been when we went down to the store?
Oh, on our own?
Yeah.
8
Oh,
to
my mom
10,
used to
I guess.
send us for cigarettes for crying out
Cigarettes,
But
yeah. I
how
bought
old
cigarettes
were
there.
loud.
I
Oh,
don't-
6, 7.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
felt, yeah.
Well, I know that it couldn't have been much more than 7 or 8 because Mom would send us for lucky 7s down. We'll get and we'd do it because we get the extra 2 or 3 cents
Yeah.
that we could buy our own stuff with. But I mean, stuff they do nowadays you'd never get away with.
Well, we used to walk down the Riverside.
Oh,
4
yeah,
times a
Oh
day.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Down
Riverside-
there,
Only
back
grade
and
1
for
and
lunch
2
and all
and 3,
that.
right? For
Kindergarten. Oh, no, kindergarten.
You know what?
Half
Kindergarten, I
day.
think we
no.
did.
Yeah.
No, we did.
Yeah,
We only worked go to kindergarten half a
Half
day.
day. Yeah, we walked it.
We were-
Oh, I remember saying to my mom, you made us walk to kindergarten. She says, no, I used to follow you, but I watched you behind
Yeah.
you to make sure you weren't
They
getting into
did that.
trouble.
My mom did that.
She did that for about a month, but after that, you were done.
Not for very long.
I mean, that's crazy.
So 9/10 of a mile, you always
8 tenths.
8/10 of a mile. Okay.
So it's 15, 20-minute walk.
Yeah, but nowadays.
Or you
forget
could
about
even,
it.
yeah.
And before I was in school, Jim went to school before me, so I looked out the window when he was coming home. So that's how long ago I can remember that. I was like 4 or something.
Well, then high school was 2 miles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in
Park
high
Road in
school.
We didn't have a car at grade 10.
I don't know when we got the
Yeah.
car, but I remember walking all the time. I remember,
Oh, yeah.
especially if you were into sports, you had to walk home because there's. But then
It was a bus.
there was a bus, but that
Later.
didn't happen the first year or two. That
No,
happened.
no. That was like grade
That was
10.
later,
Yeah,
And then it was, we were, Broadview was too soon. If you're past Broadview, you could get the
Oh
bus.
no,
We
Broadview
couldn't.
was this
No.
side of the street. That side of the street, as I recall, this side of the street was you got a
Was
ride.
okay.
The other side wasn't.
Oh,
I
But
don't
then they
remember
got
the- I don't remember the bus at all.
Oh, don't you?
Well, I
By
do,
the time
I do.
By the time
Yeah.
I,
I do.
like, in grade 9, I had to, well, I played basketball, so
Yeah,
I would go
and
in the morning at 6 for practices,
yeah. I
stay
remember.
late and work,
You were the cross country guy too.
cross country.
Yeah.
Now you were the gifted athlete.
Yeah, look at me now.
Yeah.
I think, well, you're doing all right. We're still here.
Yeah.
I remember that. I would remember walking to high school more than taking the bus.
Oh yeah. I rode my bike a lot there.
I don't remember
I
taking
don't-
the bus to high school at all. That was either walk or.
Well, you must have though, because the bus was after us.
I was up
You
in
were up at the
Hiawatha.
other way,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
you
you were up
remember
there.
taking a bus?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you caught
Sometimes.
it right at the top
Yeah,
of Broadview.
sometimes, yeah.
And that was the last stop. That
It
was
was
the
in the
stop, and then
winter.
after that, it would just go.
I never took it in when you could walk or
Well, you didn't
rode
think
a
to
bike
take it
or
when
whatever.
Yeah. Well, I don't ever remember riding my bike to high school.
I remember riding bike.
Do you? I don't. I would have walked all the
Yeah,
way.
I rode the bike.
But I can, in my mind, I can still see the way to go. You went out the back doors, down the field, down the track, cut left through the GO station,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, through the GO train.
Down by
yeah.
the
tunnel,
library.
and then down towards. You would make a little jags down towards the library, and then you were set and going. But you weren't there then, so
No.
that was the
I was
path.
closer to
Now, do you remember a real old house just back a year?
I remember the farmhouse that was back
The
here.
farmhouse.
This
yeah.
is a farm field, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think they grew anything when we were there, but
No,
it was
no.
a farm field.
Yeah, it was an
You
old
were-
house.
I don't
Those were
remember
sand
being a
pits.
farm field. It was always.
Well, was
It
it
was a
sand
field.
pits or clay pits?
Well, whatever, yeah,
Yeah.
overlook more on that side.
Yeah, they must have been kind of drawing things out of there for years because I remember some of them there were mounds, right? You remember the one time when maybe it was your brother.
Oh, mountain.
They dug out one of those mounds and they had like a fort underneath it that you could go
Oh,
into.
yes, the fort. I remember that.
Well,
yeah.
you had a fort in your yard. Your
Yeah.
brother had a
Yeah.
fort.
I remember the fort over there.
Yeah, yeah,
It
it
was
was-
dug in the ground.
Yeah, and there was a big cave. There's some of the guys that's down in there.
Yeah,
It was on
yeah.
one of those big clay mounds.
Yeah,
Lucky we didn't frickin' get killed.
Killed,
Like
yeah.
it got.
yeah. Like,
Well, we
you
never
think
did
about
it.
it now.
We would just go in there because once in a while because some other older kids. I can't remember who they were.
whoever they were, we don't know who they were.
Yeah, they just built it.
Yeah, they built it. Oh, come on. You
Well,
wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember.
But it was right where you went down the hill and then you went up. So you went down and then you went up and it was on that plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember walking to Warren Park, and your brother was into slot car races.
Yeah,
I
remember that?
Yep.
And that we always go there and think that was the coolest thing, but
He used to. Yeah, I remember.
we never.
him.
I never had the slot cars, but he did.
Yeah.
Your brother went over there all the time.
He built them. He built them himself.
I think you would have bought. You would have had to buy a basic car.
Because they were big tracks. So you don't see that. You don't see that around anymore.
Oh, yeah, there's none of that around. That was the only kind of place around I ever saw that was like that too. I don't ever know anything else that was like that. And you had to buy it by the hour or something, like $2 an hour or something to be able to
Yeah.
go.
Was it in that plaza on the
Yeah,
top
plaza,
floor?
yeah.
It was
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if it was where it was. I just remember being in
Warren
that
Park,
plaza.
there were the tracks. I remember we used to
Yeah,
walk
right
by
where the
through
tracks are. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Tracks across to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I can remember, and I can remember getting stopped by the train cops
Oh,
walking
yeah.
along the lines there. Or how we used to set up rocks on the train tracks. Remember that?
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah,
pennies.
yeah.
Pennies or rocks? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
trying to
pennies.
flatten out
I
the
remember
penny.
pennies.
Did you ever set the field on fire?
Did
Oh, it
you?
was on
I
fire.
think I
He did.
Yeah, and Rich did too. I found out.
Like-
Yeah. Buddy, we just, we were playing with fire and caught on fire. and they had to take off. So.
You take
Yeah.
off running.
Yeah.
I don't remember them being. I don't remember them being fired.
Right up by Queen Street there. I remember it was on fire, and I don't know who lit it. It was
Now
you.
we know.
I
Jim.
think I did it.
Now every fire that we see down here, we're going to blame Jim.
I also remember in wintertime, again, your brother, I think it was, he, across the tracks, they found a pond where we used to go play hockey all the time. Remember
I
that?
remember that.
I remember.
And I don't remember it being more than 1 or 2 years that we did that, but
I remember coming home frozen.
frozen from what?
From skating over there.
Just numb. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember you had to dodge in between where they had this thing sticking out, the grass sticking out, so you didn't go flying. I also remember playing baseball out there lots too. You ever play baseball out there?
Baseball.
Okay,
And
yeah.
that was, yeah, we never organized. You
Yeah.
as kids from anywhere, they would just show up and you go play 500 and stuff out there. Remember that?
Well, 500, I remember
What-
them playing that.
What grade were you in when you moved?
7.
So you were only here to grade 6?
A bit of 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been like grade 7 or 8 that we played baseball. You remember doing that?
Yeah, you were here, Jim.
I remember playing
You're always in my
500 a lot.
memories.
Yeah, I remember playing 500 all
Well,
the
I have,
time.
like you say, not the best memory.
Remember that there spring break that Dave came back and he built that basketball out of the plywood. And we were playing basketball on the side of the road.
Oh, I can remember that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is for we need to get the what do you call it, the copyright on
The
all
rights,
the
yeah.
basketball. We want our get paid our royalty. Now they're everywhere.
I remember for days on end we played ping pong out. We had the table out here, remember?
Yeah, ping pong.
Yeah,
And
ping
we-
pong,
Ping
yeah.
pong was a big one.
Yeah, and it was, we stared in the garage and then we'd bring it out and we'd play for frickin' hours. Table
Yeah.
tennis.
I love ping pong.
Yeah.
Well, we used to play down in the basement too.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
on the
table
other
was down
side.
there.
On
Well,
the-
you
on the
used
new
it.
side
You
down.
used it for the war games too.
We used it for the war games.
Well, I'm talking about war games. Remember playing diplomacy?
Oh yeah.
Holy Jesus, we would play that. We'd start at 10 o'clock in
Hours
the
and
morning,
hours and
and it
hours.
would go to like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Everybody backstabbing, and oh yeah, I'll be your friend.
Yeah.
That was
Backstabbing out of backstabbing.
That was the great. Did you play it too? Did you?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know
we
anybody.
had enough people. We always had.
Oh, we
some.
always had 8 people. We always had the full crowd. I think it was 7 or 8.
7 you need it.
7. So we always had 7 people that would show up and play diplomacy. You know, I don't even know anybody who even plays diplomacy anymore.
I've got the games.
I've heard of it. But
We were talking about it when we were down on holidays, talking about getting together for diplomacy days.
Trying to figure out now who would have been playing way back when. So it
Well,
was
Waller
possible.
used to play, right? What was his
So
buddy's
Was
Rob
name?
Bowman?
Campbell? Campbell.
Oh, Chuck Campbell?
Campbell, not the younger one. I think he was younger than us.
Chuck.
yeah, Chuck was the
Chuck
youngest
Campbell.
one.
Who are
Yeah.
they?
Peter.
Pete
Chuck
Whiteman?
Campbell.
Pete Whiteman was playing. Did
Yeah.
Pete White?
They played for a bit.
What about Bob or Steve?
Tom Waller was there with them, Rob Bowman.
Rob Bowman?
Well, I remember it was Tom Waller who had that Battle of the Bulge game, and that started us on war games.
Okay.
Remember he brought it one time. And then, yeah, I don't know if you guys
Tom,
played.
he's on Mississauga Road.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He would have been our age.
Yeah, he was your age. And who was his friend?
I thought it was Rob Bowman.
Yeah, Rob. He lived on Lauren Park Road, or off Lauren.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because I remember there was 2 of them. They were good friends, and they would always show up sometimes.
I think he plays for the Bulls. I think Greg works.
Was Greg around too? He could have been.
Who's Greg Russell?
Another
Well, I went to
south
school
of
with him,
Lakeshore
so
guy.
he's my age. He was a year older than me,
I
actually.
would have thought maybe him
He
and
lives
him
in Florida now.
Chuck Campbell were buddies, so maybe
Yeah.
if they got in.
I don't remember Chuck Campbell.
I remember Chuck Campbell.
And Keith Campbell was his brother. He'd be more your age.
Keith Campbell sounds familiar
Yeah.
somehow, but I don't know. I still
I
can't.
don't know whatever happened to him.
Well, we ran into them once, Karen Cameron.
Karen, yes.
We were at the Elmville Maple Syrup Festival
Okay.
that one year, like
Oh.
6 or 7 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah,
We
that's
ran
right.
into them.
And they recognize you?
I didn't recognize. I think you recognized them. Talking to them.
Karen Campbell,
Karen
yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
I don't
Karen Campbell was in my class.
He had a younger
Our
sister
grade,
who'd be about Sharon's age, the younger sister. Who's 4 of them? Now they've sold the house. I don't know
Which house
whether
did
they
they
died or they were 43 Pine
South.
South, yeah.
They're
I
on the
used
other
to
side
hang
of
around
the
with them a
street.
lot. Yeah.
I just remember my mom always saying, never cross the Lakeshore Road or you're going to get killed. So we would do it anyways.
Yeah.
Don't you remember playing when you were building that apartment at the end of the street?
No,
And we used to play in it, the one right on Maple and Lakeshore.
Over there, yeah.
When they were building it. Remember us used to go over there after.
those old buildings, those old apartment buildings?
Sheridan.
Not-
Sheridan.
Oh, the Sheridan.
Not the ones on the south side of the Lakeshore, not the ones along Lakeshore.
The south side. There's Laurentian there and
Yeah, those are. Yeah, I remember distinctly as you were building that, we used to play in there.
I can't remember that. I can remember them building the Sheridan. That was a big deal. Well, it was a big deal to build a big apartment like that.
And what I found out when the townhouse was found, that's what they wanted to build was high-rise apartments, but over in Crozier Court they complained or wherever, so they settled on townhouses.
And they had all the money, rich people, so they got what they wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
Things haven't changed.
It's just townhouses, not high-rises, so that's why, and I only found this out a year or two ago. And I was reading something from back then.
I can remember Ben McCree. It was a private road, right? It's not anymore, I don't think. It
Private,
appeared,
I think it was like where the Richies.
not Ben McCree.
Not bad.
Godfrey
Godfrey's
Lane.
Lane,
Godfrey's
yeah.
Lane. It was kind of like a private lane, and I can remember going
Yes.
down there and seeing the guy. There was some kind of Olympic guy who was a bobsledder or something lived down there, and he had his bobsleds
Oh,
out in the driveway.
okay.
Remember that? I remember, but you know, you always, when you went down Godfrey Lane, it was like, you're always looking around
Yeah,
thinking
see
you're
if-
doing something illegal.
Somebody with a shotgun. And, yeah.
I don't know why that was a private lane or why it was thought that way.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 houses. Some surgeon lived there, which I didn't know till now.
Well, now I looked at it today, and I think it's all paved, so I don't think
It's all
can be
paved
private.
now. It's
So
not
it can't be
private now,
private
no.
or considered private. I think it was like you said, it was some doctors or something that
Yeah.
wanted their privacy, and they wouldn't.
Yeah.
They always thought.
There's only 2 houses there now, so number 1 and number 50. Now they put the townhouses in where them old apartments were, whenever they put them in, where Pete was.
Yeah.
Dave, do you remember dumping the water on
Lucy Lincoln.
Lucy?
Lucy
Oh,
Lincoln.
When you were
Lucy.
playing
We had
Canada,
lots
right?
for Lucy Lincoln. didn't
Oh,
we?
he did.
Oh, she was good looking.
Yeah, yeah.
Back in the day.
I wonder whatever happened to
I
Lucy
don't know.
Lincoln.
We'd have to look on
But,
Facebook.
but yeah, I
She
remember.
quit associating after she got the bucket.
Talk about a wet T-shirt contest
Oh, yeah,
before its
oh.
time. Eh? Oh, I remember that because her mom came over and played with my dad after they were gone or something.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
was it. They were at the cottage, and I said, "You guys get her under the window."
You got her, yeah.
She was pissed.
Yes, she went home.
And then her mom came over and dad did. My dad, like she was yapping, like she was really mad. And my dad goes, yeah. Close the door. I never heard a word.
No, nothing.
It was like, oh, big deal.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
It was probably hot out too. So,
Yeah.
it was all,
Yeah. So what's the
Yeah,
what's
what's
the problem?
yeah.
It's all good. I was in one of our kick the can games. I think we always tried to get her to play because we always thought she was good looking, and then when we did get her to play, she never played.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
didn't have a good sense of humor.
No, no, it wasn't.
That Polish sense of humor.
Yeah, the Polish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we watched the first Man on the Moon, and that's the 50th anniversary.
I always remember
Just last month.
we only hung out in your basement and our basement. That's the only place that I
In the
remember
basement,
hanging
yeah.
out. But you know, any time like our mom and dad didn't care how many were in there. Well, that's what they built the basement for.
Yeah,
Over the
And I think oh shit.
tons of yeah.
I think of all the Monopoly we played.
I hate Monopoly
Monopoly.
too.
Stock ticker.
Careers
Careers
my
was
fun.
probably
Careers.
the
By stock ticker, well, it was such a stupid game, really, right? Well, we all played it, but I think Careers was a game we played. We played Life a little bit. I don't
Life, yes.
but not a whole lot because we wanted games of skill.
Yeah.
Careers and Monopoly were a little bit more games of skill. So, but I hated Monopoly. It took so long.
Risk.
Oh yeah.
2 or 3 hour game. Monopoly at the minimum.
Yeah. Oh, I can remember.
Oh, Risk, yes, yes. I remember playing that down
We'd be
there.
either playing that on your porch or the basement, our basement, like those games.
No, we play on the porch all the time. We'd hang out on the porch, wait for the girls to go by, and there'd be one girl go by all day, and that
All day.
made our day.
Yeah, all day. Yeah,
And then we wouldn't say anything. We'd just all go silent.
yeah.
The neighborhood was never good for girls.
No.
No, the only one time you got them is when they were down here walking through or something.
They had the Nicklauses. They were the only females around.
Oh.
Really. Yeah.
What?
That was a different breed.
Well, most of them are dead now.
Are they?
Yeah.
How many are alive?
Well, how many were?
Peggy and
Carol's
Sandra
still-
probably.
Maybe.
That they were our age, weren't they? Peggy and Sandra were more our age. Sandra was
No.
young.
They were a little
Sandra was
younger,
young.
yeah.
Peggy would have been closer to us.
Yeah.
Patricia was closer to us even more.
Well, she died,
She
yeah.
was the oldest, and Peggy. Cindy, where did Cindy?
Oh yeah, Cindy.
Yeah, somewhere in between there, yeah.
5 girls?
5, yeah.
So who we missing? Peggy.
No boys, eh?
No.
Well, I don't remember them playing with us.
Oh, and
for a
Margaret.
while, eh?
Margaret lived there.
Yeah,
But she was one of the
Margaret's
girls.
still around.
Who's the base girls? You had Kathy, Patricia,
Pat,
Peggy, Cindy,
Cindy,
who we missing? Sam?
Sandra.
Yeah, okay.
And I went to the game a year ago with Dave. He's talking to me about this Gord Haddon from the History Society. She said he's married to Margaret. I said, what? Because I know him.
I just,
Oh,
Gord Vandersar.
oh, Gord.
And what's that?
No, yes.
Never, yeah. Rich used to know him.
I heard he
Yeah,
drowned.
he was Richard, but Johnny says he's not alive anymore.
Drowned out west, I think. Richard would know. Ask him.
Well, he wouldn't know. Rich doesn't know anything.
Rich doesn't know it.
So we're gonna go over and visit Rich.
I already popped over there before I came.
Yeah.
Drop
So
off
he
a
cleaned
couple
up the
there.
place for us when we were over
Yeah, he
there?
cleaned it up.
Well, he's free. No, he'd like to get a chunk of that.
Yeah, let's go visit him.
I don't know. It's great. Rich is still reclusive.
Is he?
We'll tell him to come
So we'll
outside.
stand outside
He
out
wasn't
his window.
reclusive when he was young, though.
What? No, but as the years went along, you know,
He became more and more.
yeah, it's not that he's a total. He's very sociable. You know, it's
When
just-
Yeah, when I run into him once every 2 years, I
I-
can talk to him like you know.
I hardly have any recollections of him because he was. It's funny how you have these layers of the kids, right?
Yeah.
And like your brother, I can only remember interacting with him maybe 2 or 3 times
Because
altogether.
he would have been maybe 65 or 60.
He's 65 now.
Yeah,
I
so he's
think.
2 years older.
66
But that's a
now?
long time back then
Yeah.
because there were so many kids around.
Oh yeah.
You hung
yeah.
out mostly with. I hung out with you guys, the younger ones, because there was nobody around here that was in my grade, basically. That was in my grade. So the only time I really hung out with friends was when I got to high school, and that's because we were working at Inner City. Remember?
Oh, inner city
We worked.
papers.
Oh yeah,
Truck line.
truck line.
Oh, truck line.
I had a couple of friends who got me a job there, and then I worked there for 2 or 3 years, I think, taking the bus the whole time.
Well, Gary got me, and I was riding my bike.
Oh, were you in Intercity?
Yeah, just for one summer. I was a runner.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what we
that's what
did.
I did.
Yeah.
That's what Dave got me the job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did that for one summer. I rode my bike from Iowa.
Oh, I didn't realize you'd been there. Yeah, because
That
I
was
used
a
to-
ways then.
Yeah, but you didn't even care about it back then.
No.
I remember one day working late and I'd walking home from there,
Yeah.
Oh,
all the
wow.
way home.
all the way home from Inner City.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dundas and
Yeah.
Yeah, Dundas and Dixie. I don't. Is it even still there? Any trucking
my
company
no,
there? anymore?
Inner City's not around anymore.
But there's no trucking company there.
You know, I can't remember if there's still a dock back there or not.
No, I remember.
If it is, it wouldn't be Inner City.
What side of the road was that?
South,
South side.
South, east, southwest.
Southeast.
east.
Oh. Yeah, it's
You're
not
walking
there.
to school with the ditches, the path to school,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like public school, you know, going
Yeah. It
I
was
don't
all dirt,
remember.
It wasn't it was all dirt path.
all dirt path to
With
the
trees.
riverside.
Oh, I used
No.
to get more mud,
remember that.
mud
Yeah.
on me than.
Yeah,
oh.
and there was
Well, I
ditches.
remember this road before they built it. Remember?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like the ditches.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, but going to school.
On Lakeshore there, it was all
On
like
Lakeshore, yeah.
that-
I don't remember that.
yeah, it was all dirt, tree covered dirt kind of laneway.
I don't remember that.
I
I always
remember.
remember it as being sidewalk.
Oh, I remember Jimmy Rushford when they were doing it. He taught me how to ride my bike up and down the
Snowballs have trucks.
Oh yes,
I
yes.
remember,
Oh, it's always fun.
I remember one time a truck came by and the guy had his frickin' window open and I threw
Oh,
it right
geez.
through the frickin' window. Was he pissed? I took off. I was over by the tracks down here by Ben McCree. I took off down the tracks and he was looking for me. I remember coming home and changing my clothes thinking there's no way he's going to wreck that, but he was pissed. Well, what the hell do you have your window open when it's snowball
in the
season?
winter.
And
Yeah.
we put the rope across the road. Here.
Oh, I remember.
And whose car got it?
It was down the street a
yeah,
couple.
what's the name?
What?
Oh.
You were
3 or 4.
instigator.
Yeah,
The
probably.
instigator,
He
yeah.
was wasn't he a teacher?
Yeah.
Was he a
Monroe.
teacher?
Monroe.
No,
Sangster?
Sangster, yes.
Sangster's
He
car.
was
yeah.
the
I remember.
teacher, yeah.
Was he? I don't remember what happened.
You said, let's get a rope. And
You know, you
one
did-
guy on one side, and then
And
when
you
the
do
car
like-
goes by, you,
Well, no, we do like
Oh.
the, where it loops.
yeah.
So
Okay.
Somehow got caught up in the
under
car.
wheels and yeah.
Did we run like hell?
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, as if they wouldn't know who we are, right?
Yeah. So, I don't know whatever happened. I don't think we got in any
I don't
trouble.
even, it mustn't have, because I don't remember it even happening.
Wow.
Well, I remember we used to play that mug game. Remember that? We used to, well, because there was so much traffic, people didn't know anybody. They used to come down here because the byway, right? And they used to come
Yeah,
down
the
up and down
byway,
the road.
yeah.
And so you get a
Westport.
lot of people coming this way and then going back onto Maple to get on through the light, right? So we would be up here by Rushwards, across from your street, and because they had bushes, right?
Yeah.
And then we'd have you walking down the street, and we have it planned so the car coming up, here he comes. So Jim would say, and we'd come out, we start beating the
Yeah.
crap out of you, you'd fall down and lay on the
Oh
road.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
we'd run, and we'd see how many guys would stop and see it. But I mean, here we were making idiots out of guys that would help people, and we would run like crazy. That was our fun game, mug. I think we made that up.
Yeah.
No, we also used
Well,
to
we
remember
made up
sitting down at
stuff, yeah.
State Bank and we'd sit at the corner and we'd be looking up. Everybody'd be looking up to see people walking by, whether they'd look up or
Oh
not.
yeah, I remember that doing that. I remember too when we had that big UFO thing. We were into UFOs.
You got me into UFOs. Way back
Yeah.
then.
Well,
Well, I remember one time we were out here, and your dad, when we were on our UFO hunt, right?
Yeah.
We do it like, we'd stay up about 10 o'clock and get dark.
Yeah.
We do this for, I don't know, lots of times, but I remember one time your dad came out with his binoculars, and we saw these, there gotta be UFOs. We finally spotted them, and your dad's out there with the binoculars looking. It was probably just planes in flight mode, but we thought, oh, finally we seen UFOs. Remember the time we scared the crap out of you over here, where we put all those lights in the backyard of your thing, and we told you that we took you for a walk, and then all of a sudden, there's aliens, there's aliens. We had all these lights flashing. Don't you remember that?
I don't remember.
It was in your backyard, man.
remember
Johnny,
that.
don't go any closer. They'll get
Yes,
you.
they'll
And then we
get
had
ya.
the lights. God, the stupid stuff we used to do. Oh.
and so get this. We're trying to remember, we saw the eclipse of the moon one night.
Oh, yeah.
So we're standing at Callahan's because the moon was over there. So, and then we're trying to remember what night was it. And then Jim says, I remember, what was on TV?
Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc was on television that night. Now, how we remember that, I don't know. So I look on Wikipedia and I see CBS movies of the night in the 60s. So, found it. It was April the 12th, 1968.
Tracked it down, eh?
So I look up in the old newspaper thing I got. Sure enough, April the 12th, 1968, total eclipse of the moon. He remembered exactly that night. And that's when we saw them,
Yeah,
what they are,
we thought
UFOs,
a
I don't know.
It could have been geese flying over. But
Yeah.
Probably.
no. But it was two
It was
bright lights
strange,
and
yeah.
two or three.
Yeah,
in
5 or
formation.
something, yeah.
and
In a
just-
formation.
Just whizzed by them, and it wasn't way up there. It was.
Well, I'm not imagining, because
So,
he's
but-
seen it
but that
too.
could explain a lot of things, Jim, if you were anally probed by aliens when you were young.
Maybe that's your affinity towards UFOs nowadays.
And
eh?
conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. You're into conspiracy theories still?
Some. Well, they aren't necessarily conspiracy. You got to remember.
They're not necessarily.
Well, you may want to believe the conspiracy theory that you're being told, and oh, come on.
I can remember when I was teaching, I used to tell kids I used to teach a module at the university about conspiracy theories and how the internet just thrives on this stuff,
Oh, right,
right?
okay.
I said, and the project was you had to find a conspiracy theory and you had to explain why it was real, and then you had to explain why it wasn't real. And that was, I would tell about my first conspiracy theories. My first one was, what was it? Christopher Marlowe wrote the Shakespeare plays.
Oh, right. I remember.
Shakespeare wasn't the one, and then they had they had a book in the library going, holy crap, this is real. Shakespeare's a fraud, I remember that was my first conspiracy theory, thinking that.
Oh, you don't believe it?
JFK. He got shot by Oswald. You don't think
Oh,
so?
come on,
Yeah,
Dave.
no.
You really believe that?
Am I the only sane one here?
Oh, come on. It's too much evidence.
They had another hearing in the 70s or 80s where they said, odds are it was more
Oh,
likely.
Jim, they think that there's people who say that global warming isn't happening.
Well, it isn't.
It may be happening, but maybe it's just the way, the evolution of life. Yeah, sure, the humans have impacted it, but
Oh yeah,
all these people that believe in global warming,
And now we're gonna
they
die
hop
in
on
12
their
years.
jets to go to these
Well,
meetings.
I'm not saying they could be hypocrites. Doesn't mean it's not true.
No, well, yeah, but we're actually going to have a cooling before we have
cooling, warm, yeah, it's just,
It's
Dave's a progressive liberal.
no,
Okay.
global warming. Now the thing is, you got to be calling it climate change. That's what you got to be
Yeah,
calling it.
that's how old I am. I still say global warming.
Climate change. No, the U.S. has been, they've caused trouble for years.
Anyways, to get back to
Yeah.
we could be talking conspiracy
Let's
theories.
go
all-
9/11.
No, don't
No,
even go
no,
there.
no.
But anyways, I remember going in your basement and your dad had the train set.
The train
I
set, yes.
loved the train
Oh,
set.
that was great. I liked that.
Kept them going at Hiawatha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I'm
there.
pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
Did he have them bigger, or was it because
Yeah.
it was a 4x8 sheet basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Remember
4x8
the train
plywood
set, I
in
remember
there.
that.
Pete's dad was into that.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember that. I don't ever remember being in Pete's place.
I've never been in his house.
The one over here, right
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Yeah,
Maple, or
Maple, yeah.
no? But yeah. I remember, and I always remember playing mini golf in your backyard. That was the greatest thing in the whole world.
I
But we
remember
had
that.
clubs.
Croquet,
Oh, yeah,
too.
the clubs, the little wooden things from the 1950s.
Yeah.
I know.
Was like a croquet or something we played there too?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember Blind Man's Bluff.
Bluff, and you
Blind
called
man's
me when I ran
Yeah.
into the tree. God.
So anyway,
Classic.
we're
One
playing-
hand on one side, one
Yeah.
hand on the other side.
I'm going,
Well,
"Yeah!"
some angle like this, and your
Yeah,
hand went.
come on. right into the four-legged tree. Boom! He was out.
Oh, yeah. That was classic. That,
Yeah.
I can't take that
That's too
away.
bad we didn't have telephones back then, or
Yeah, I
mobile
could put them-
phones.
Oh yeah.
That'd be viral.
Viral, yeah.
I never expect you to put your head down and start running.
I mean,
Like full speed too. It wasn't like just.
yeah. And then before it was out there and we'd sleep out.
And then
Ford,
you
yeah.
hide- make people disappear and hide them in the
Yeah.
under the bench.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think your brother did that, but it was your brother's sport though, wasn't
Yeah,
it? And it was kind of like taboo to go in there almost. I can remember going in there, but it was like you felt uncomfortable because it was your brother's sport.
I remember sleeping in there. I mean, I guess I must have got permission.
I
Yeah.
remember sleeping in there.
I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we always slept in tents. Now that you
Tents?
think.
Oh,
of it.
tents,
Oh,
yeah.
places.
In the
We-
backyard,
Yeah,
yeah.
in your
Yeah.
backyard especially.
Yeah.
We put up a
Yeah.
tent and we'd sleep there all the time.
Get up at 3 in the morning and wander around the streets.
Steve Wilson's had a tent there. I slept over there for a few times.
I don't remember Will.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Steve Wilson?
He's retired in India.
In India,
He
yeah.
became a pilot, married an Indian girl, happily ever after.
Really?
No kids, but
Okay. Well, I knew he
did
was
well
over
for
there.
himself.
How'd you
Mom
hear
and
about
Dad
him?
still around?
Is the mom still
We made
around?
contact. No, I'm not sure.
I'm
whether
not sure.
She ended
She
up
was
with
sick.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah. She was like over 90, so.
Yeah, when his mom started getting sick, some guy was sort of taking advantage of her, you know. She had the Alzheimer's stuff and sucking her money.
The money,
Yeah.
yeah.
That been a few years since
Well, that
I
was
touched base
she
with
was the same age as my dad, so she'd be like 95, so I don't think.
slightly past.
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, and Steve was kind of like to me anyways, he was a more of a fringe player.
Yeah.
I don't know why,
Yeah,
because
he
he
didn't
lived right
really.
there.
Yeah, we
Well, he's
didn't.
an only child for one thing,
Yeah.
and I think that he didn't.
I think his mom kept him away from us.
I think-
Bad influence.
Or that guy knew that he wanted to be a pilot when he was
Oh, when he was this
He always
high.
talked about it.
Always.
like 10 years old. You know, like he knew
Yeah.
he wanted to be a pilot. And that's what he
And he
did.
couldn't be a commercial pilot. No, he wasn't. I mean, a passenger.
He flew them. He started with being a bush guy out west.
Yeah, he was out west, and he went to
He worked
Fiji
his-
Island
he
or
worked-
somewhere.
Worked his way up.
Yeah.
But he knew.
He knew it from when he was.
Well,
I used to have these magazines, the pilot
Yeah,
books,
you
when I
hung
was
out with
over
him
there.
more than us.
I hung out with
Yeah.
him up in the basement there. Yeah,
where? In
his basement. Yeah.
So what
yeah.
age do you think that was? Like, well, I guess you got magazines as you got older, but
We were like 12 or something,
Yeah,
13.
yeah.
He just knew it. Yeah.
my impression is he knew it.
Then, well, we didn't have the internet, so we had to get a magazine to tell you some info.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't play a lot of the games.
No.
No, he was a fringe player.
He was
like
more-
But if you went and knocked on his door and asked him to come out, he'd come out. But he didn't come looking
Yeah,
for
he
us.
didn't come out looking. No, he hung around with Robert Perrin a lot too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't.
was he a year younger than us? He was in our age.
No,
He
Steve
was the same age
younger.
as me, almost
Oh.
to the day.
Okay.
5 days younger.
Yeah, I remember parents. Parents were, again, it was one of those houses you didn't want to, you knew not to run around too often around. She never said anything, but you just kind of.
Yeah, you kind
Did you ever go skating over in the Johnsons? Johnsons
I
had a
remember
rink.
that. I remember the rink.
Did they have a
Johnson.
rink there?
Yeah,
Johnson?
yeah. Did you
Yeah,
go-
remember
yeah.
them.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd build a rink out there and everything.
And we cut back
I
through the
remember
back.
skating in our backyard too. Yeah.
I don't remember. When did you have a rink back there?
One right there. Yeah, I just didn't
In
big.
Chelovich, I remember skating there. They had guys went up the street when they lived up the street.
Oh, that could be. But parents, what I was saying to Johnny the other day, what parents was really great for is they had the swimming pool. Remember the swimming pool? Well, it wasn't a
I
big
never
one.
went
It
in
was
it,
only
though.
one of those little round
Yeah,
things,
it wasn't
right?
a big.
And I can remember going swimming there, and they didn't mind that. Like they were kind of people that you just had a feeling about that you shouldn't intrude on them for some reason. And not that they ever said anything to me. And I don't think maybe I was in his house 3 or 4 times tops.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it was. You just kind of knew, like, even the Rushwords here, or no, this is the guests here.
Yes.
You knew,
Oh.
you'd hop over their fence, but you knew it was kind of like off limits. You got to your place, Johnny, the free for all, you and Orr's place.
Yeah.
We would
Yeah.
just run all over the place. So the 3 yards were Orr's, Wilson's, and our place.
Yeah, yeah.
And like on the other
this
side.
place.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, Grandpa's place here. He didn't care. So yeah, so there was the 4 areas that we could run. Nobody on that side of the street let you run on their
No.
lawns.
We were rarely over there.
Well,
rarely.
you know, the Chacois lived up the street, right?
Yeah.
And I don't.
Triplex.
Yeah, in the triplex. And I don't.
They
He
were all
would come and
older.
play. There was 2
Like
brothers.
Jimmy Rushworth was over there. And
Yeah,
Keith.
Jimmy and Keith and the guests here, like they had older kids. So
Yeah.
again, you know, it's funny how it was always the 1 or 2 year kids that you knew. If they were any more than 2 years, they were like a different generation.
It was like a whole different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your sister, I can hardly ever remember talking to your sister,
Yeah,
and she is older than Richard. So
Yeah.
Cause I think she's pretty much
69, so-
gone by the time when we were hanging out.
She would have gotten married in 69.
Yeah, it's 1969.
yeah, when you were living here, I remember her. She had the back bedroom there,
Yeah.
one of the back bedrooms, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
Well,
And we're okay to, and talking about being uncomfortable, we were okay to hang in the basement, but upstairs was kind of like
Yeah.
off. But we still went there a few times. But it was like
Yeah,
just like
mostly
our
in the
place. I don't know if you were ever upstairs. I
oh, we
don't
were
know.
upstairs.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
When we got older and we were,
Yeah.
partying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got? You party?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mom and Dad made cottage or something.
Oh yeah, there'd be beer bottles. I passed out in the thing.
A little bit of dope.
Yeah.
Now it's street legal, so you don't have to worry about it.
Thank God it's both.
Now, it's like I said, if all the health benefits are true, all of my friends from college would all be living to 100.
Yeah. Now, and guess, remember we went to that, they were having this party in the basement. We were like 7 or 8.
Big.
And we snuck in the back.
Yeah.
And we're in the porch and you hear all this music, the
Yeah. It was a big
Rolling
party.
Stones or whatever. And they all this party, and then he comes upstairs, just looks at us. He didn't say too much, but
You guys
we,
ran.
we better get out.
Yeah, that's how we took off.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember like, and the Rushwords. That was another like. Again, he was your old. Was he older than your brother? The same age.
Oh,
Older.
he died, eh?
Yeah.
Did he?
Keith? Yeah.
He's
I
older.
just saw the notice the other.
Well, didn't he come out and take care of the hockey guy one time that we were just talking about?
I wonder.
Bob
That-
Kelly.
Bob Kelly, didn't
Yeah.
he come out and beat up Bob Kelly or
Maybe the same age.
because Bob Kelly used to bully us, right? Or
Oh,
used
he
to
was
hit
a
us.
he was a pain in
And
the
then
ass.
I remember one time him coming out and,
That-
basically kicking
I don't
his
remember
ass.
seeing it, but that story sounds
Yeah.
familiar now.
And he never really bothered us afterward.
Yeah.
I remember that because he just knew he was there. He never really socialized with him.
But I don't
and then-
even remember hanging with Bob Kelly. Though I don't remember him
Not Bob.
actually bullying.
No.
Oh,
He
Keith,
was
you mean Keith?
Keith Kelly. Oh, hang
Keith
on,
the
yeah.
Rushworth.
No, yeah.
Keith
Keith
Rush.
Rushworth beat the shit out of
He-
Bob
Oh,
Kelly.
geez, I didn't know that.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask Richard. He knows that story.
'Cause Keith just died there in March. He was 73 or 72.
Yeah,
Yeah.
young guy still.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get this age, everybody's young.
Everybody's young.
Everybody's young, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we were in Memphis or somewhere, and Mick Jagger turned 40, and we saw it on the TV. So we're going, oh man, that's like, 40 is like way over the hill.
Yeah,
What's going on here?
I was saying to Johnny the other day, if there's ever an advertisement for cocaine, he's got to be it. He
Yeah.
probably stored more cocaine in his life than anybody.
Keith more than
Keith would, yeah. Keith's still going, yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't have Alzheimer's, so
Well,
he has to
conspiracy
care for
theory is
Alzheimer's.
that he's actually dead. He just doesn't know it.
Yeah, really. Oh, gee. That guy, I don't know. Yeah, still going. But he said it was the genes and hereditary. People in his family lived a long time, so Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it. All this other stuff is just
Yeah, it does. It just, I think so.
between our mom having diabetes and dad's having heart. Well,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, your
screwed.
dad, yeah.
I have both, so I
Yeah.
know I'm
Yeah,
screwed.
yeah.
Family has something, right? So
Yeah, well, I don't know. I know families that they're all,
tip top shape.
well, they get to their 80s with no heart trouble and stuff, and
Oh,
it seems to
geez.
run in the family a little bit. I think it's more heredity than anything else.
Well, hereditary and then not really abusing yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And being lucky too. 'Cause you could get anything
Yeah.
at any age, right? You hear so-and-so, I hear so-and-so getting cancer or something like 56, and that's it.
Do you remember
That's like
being in
luck.
Oakville? And,
Hopefully.
and we were in that old blue Parisienne, and we went for a cruise in Oakville. And you were in the back, and you started banging on the roof, and the frickin' cop stopped us. Remember that? They scared the shit out of us. They stopped us, and I'm driving, and he pulls over. He goes, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" Well, I never heard anybody swear. This cop is on my window giving me, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" And I think they made us open up the trunk because they thought we were all high. 'Cause you
Oh,
were being
right,
an
yeah,
idiot.
yeah.
They thought we were all.
Some things never change.
So anyways, in the end, the cop says, "Get in your fucking car and never come back to this fucking place again." We're out of here.
You can't
don't
go back to
remember that?
Oakville.
Oh, I was scared that you were there. I know it was
Oh,
your
I'm
fault.
not saying I wasn't there.
It was
I'm
you
sure
were
it was
there
my
too.
fault.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't recall that.
Oh
That's funny.
God,
Yeah.
that's.
Like
I
I
remember
said.
that. Well, you weren't driving. I was the one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. We're out of here. Because
would've
we
been the
weren't
same
bad
way.
kids, I don't think.
Oh no, we were. I control it. We get it.
You mean, other
Stopped by
than-
the cops and being sworn at.
Wow.
Yeah, and faking people out that somebody's getting killed and a rope caught in a. No, we didn't do anything.
Johnny running down and looking in the laundromat with my scuba gear on.
The scuba outfit, yes, yes. I remember that, yes. And the mask
And
would
then we
all
went
fog
down
up.
to the park and used to run up to the cars that were parked there.
Yeah. I'd
Where
be
was
in,
that?
I'd
Look at
be
the
in-
windows.
You weren't there then, yeah.
I'd be in these fins.
That was one of the weekends Mom and Dad were around.
Yeah,
Tying him to the telephone pole in his underwear.
yeah, yeah. Oh, they.
These are assholes, eh, John?
You can use this as your evidence when you go to sue his ass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For libel for all the treatment
Or
maltreatment we gave.
he
It's
winds
all
up with
here.
he winds up with a golf club in the back of the head.
Yeah, yeah.
He deserved it, Your Honor. He tormented me. I finally snapped.
Vengeance
Vengeance is best served cold. And it was cold.
Full 9 iron in the head.
Bow.
Well,
With the scuba outfit. The MG,
MG.
they stick me in the back. There's like no room.
who had the MG?
Gary had it.
There for
They're driving down the
MG
QE, you know.
midget.
Yeah, and there's like no room. I'm afraid I'm gonna blow out or something.
I guess back then we
Did
could
you have
do
the
that.
top down?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you could do that.
I just remember, the only car I really remember is the blue Parisienne.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we had to crawl in the windows because the one side was bashed in. I was taking the car to the can when I was working at Continental Can. And I went through and some guy came and
Oh yeah.
jackknifed me in the garage. But this up to then, the car wasn't ours. As soon as my dad saw that, he said, "I'm getting a new car. You guys can have that
You can have
one."
the old one.
And we never did get it fixed. I drove that to school for a couple of years, and we would just hop in the window or hop in the back seat and jump over.
I thought it was a
Oh, it was
a
a
Dodge Polaris.
Oh, it was a Polaris.
Polaris,
Yeah.
yeah.
My Parisienne I had when I was at university in Olde.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Polaris.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it used to be Uncle Huey's car.
Yeah, it was Uncle Huey's car. My dad bought it off him, and then we started driving it.
And then the guy gave it to us.
And he gave it to, I don't know what he bought after that.
I don't know, eventually, I know at one time he had an AMC,
Yeah,
which I eventually got, Hornet.
Hornet, yeah.
Oh, the Hornet, yes, yes.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't ever remember my dad giving me shit for anything. Do you?
Once I started working, my mom and dad pretty much left me alone.
Well, they left me alone all the time.
I mean, before that, if you had to do something, you ask, or whatever, they might say no. But after that, I don't remember them putting any kind of restrictions on me. I could come home, as long as I got up in the morning and go to school.
Yeah.
And they didn't care. When I quit school, I had to go.
Yeah.
Well, you knew that. But the other,
That's how
also,
we were brought up.
but the other
Yeah,
expectation was that when you were 18, you were gone, or close to it.
I hung around there.
I hung around one little bit.
How long? When did you move out?
Moved or kicked?
Yeah, but even still, I mean, you got kids that stay home until they're 30 now.
I think I bought that townhouse when I was 25 or something. 26.
Oh, I remember one time, I was always looking for adventure, right? And I can remember there used to be a fence here, right?
Yep.
And so, anyways, I got a backpack and I filled it with a bunch of food and stuff. And that night, Sunday night, I went and I tucked it over guest fence.
Oh, yeah.
So the next day I get up and say, yeah, I'm going to school, as if I'm going to school, the normal thing. See ya, Mom. Came over here, grabbed that backpack, and I started hitchhiking up to Perry Sound.
Oh,
I got up to Orangeville, number 7 there.
yeah.
Well, it wasn't, but there used to be a junction there, 27 and 7,
Mm-hmm.
or 9, whatever highway that is.
9, yeah.
I can't remember. So, anyways, the cops picked me up because I'm hitchhiking, but this guy on a tractor, he's got a flatbed, and I'm on the flatbed and with my backpack. And so the cops
You're
come
on
by
a
and say to the
flatbed.
guy, "Do you know this kid?" No, I never. He just was hitchhiking. So the cops pulled me off, take me to Bradford,